Thank you, everybody, for coming. And this is really Gabe's award to give, but I wanted to shoehorn myself in because Marc has been such a mentor for me over the years. I wanted to make sure to be able to pass on my thanks as well. 17 years ago, I was a new housing attorney at Greater Boston Legal Services, and I picked up a tool that Marc had made years before that actually helped me learn how to be a housing attorney, helped me represent our housing tenants more efficiently. And his work has inspired me over the rest of my career as well. So he was the first person to invite me to be a guest in his class here at Suffolk. He invited me to help as a freelancer and start that work that I continue to do as well. So I'm really honored to be able to help share in presenting this award to him. You've had such a big influence on my career, and I think on so many people over the last decades. Everywhere that you go in legal tech, you will see Marc has been there before in terms of a paper that he has written, a class that he created in so many different ways. So this is an award that is overdue and much deserved.
Hi all, my name is Gabe Teninbaum. I'm the Assistant Dean for Innovation, Strategic Initiatives, and Distance Education at the law school. This will begin the roast portion of the award. So, not really. It's my honor to present the inaugural Suffolk Law Lit Impact Award to Marc Lauritsen. This award celebrates a leader who brings vision and innovation with real-world impact to drive meaningful change in legal services, access, and delivery. It goes to someone whose impact is almost impossible to measure because it's so vast. Marc's career has been dedicated to bold, creative use of technology to make the law work better for more people. He has been a pioneer in document automation, decision support systems, and knowledge tools. Through his work, especially his work in document assembly, Marc has either directly or indirectly likely helped more people in need get legal assistance than any other single person in the world. That is not a metaphor. That is real. His impact is systemic and transformative, reshaping what's possible in A to J. He's currently the president of Capstone Practice Systems, where he continues to build smarter tools for legal practice and service. But his CV also includes a stint running clinical programs at Harvard Law School, advising Pro Bono Next Law Help Interactive, a terrific program, serving as perhaps the world's leading expert on HotDocs, a document assembly tool, leading the largest active group of HotDocs users in the world, authoring books, including Working Smarter with Knowledge Tools, and teaching at 5 law schools, including, gratefully, this one. Marc's legacy isn't just about tools, it's about the people he's mentored. If you're working in legal tech or A to J, there's a strong chance you have been influenced by Marc directly or indirectly. He's inspired a generation of thinkers, teachers, and builders. He's also one of the kindest and most interesting people that you will ever meet. A few tidbits. Marc went to MIT, where he majored in music and philosophy. He lives on a horse farm in Harvard, Massachusetts. He has a band that plays concerts in the garage or barn at his horse farm in Harvard, Massachusetts. He's a leading scholar of the Shakespeare authorship question. He holds a patent for a piece of software that helps people make better decisions. Truly, if there is a definition of a polymath in our field or any other, it's Marc. But of course, this is a Suffolk Law Award, so we should talk a little bit about Marc's influence over this place. Marc was the inaugural co-chair of the board of directors of the initiative that became the LIT program. When Dean Perlman started this concept of legal innovation and technology at Suffolk Law, he said, we need expert advisors to help us shape this thing. The first phone call was to Marc Lauritsen, who gratefully was accepting of that invitation. He's helped shape our foundation, positioning us as a national leader in legal innovation. Without Marc, there would be no LIT program as we know it. And beyond that, he's launched numerous careers in legal innovation and technology and beyond, including of many of the people in this room here today. In fact, when we first started having our expanding legal innovation and technology program, Dean Perlman said, "Would you teach a class in that, Gabe?" And I said, "I will, on one condition. It's that the first time I teach the class, I co-teach it with Marc. Marc allowed me to teach it with him, and I have never looked back myself. His work has been deeply inspiring for me and so many others. His vision and innovation have measurable impact. He has impacted the way that we think about law, we teach law, and deliver legal services. He is the embodiment of what this award is meant to celebrate. So on behalf of Suffolk University Law School and the entire legal innovation and technology community, it's my privilege to present the inaugural LIT Impact Award to Marc Lauritsen.
Thank you. It's a special honor to receive an award from an actual Secret Service agent who's also a real mensch. And from Quentin, whose career was upside down on mine. I was a housing lawyer to begin with, and then later in life became somewhat of a techie. So I was asked to keep my remarks to less than 45 minutes. Don't worry, I'm no Cory Booker, although we both are from New Jersey, like Kristen Sunday also was this morning. I just want to say three things. First of all, thank you to Diane, Gabe, David, Quentin, Sam, anybody else who was involved in giving this award. I've given out a lot of awards, like the ABA's James Kane Award. Some of you don't know Jim, but Jim was the founding chair of the ABA's e-lawyering task force that I and Richard Granite and Ron Stout and others spent so much time with. And we created the award to honor Jim. And I was amazed that it was given out again last week at the ABA Tech Show. So it's something that's lived on to celebrate this new way of doing lawyering. Second, I want to celebrate the Lit Lab. I've been on a lot of the rides in the legal tech theme park, and the ones I always find most thrilling offer a trifecta of payoffs. One, cutting edge technology. Two, social benefit at scale. And three, an incredibly powerful educational experience. And everything the Lit Lab has done is in that spirit and is very much to be commended. All of my courses involve at least two. I find the public benefit a little bit harder to pull off in a one semester course. And there's also a fourth ingredient I always try to add, which I think may be the most important, especially now, which is critical thinking. How do we engender in students both the possibility and the necessity of thinking critically? How to navigate in a world of misinformation and disinformation? How to engage productively with people whose ideas you find distasteful? How to avoid all the pitfalls, cognitive and emotional, that we humans are subject to. So trying to do that alongside all the other themes, I think is actually possible and desirable. One of my greatest heroes is Carl Sagan. And even before I learned that he grew up a couple blocks from where I lived as a child and went to my high school, graduated from my high school. He's got a great thing called the Bullshit Detection Kit, which you can find online. I point my students to it every semester, and I highly recommend it. Third, and most importantly, these really are times that try our souls. And too many universities and law firms are failing the test. We have an epidemic of lawlessness, cruelty, and arrogant stupidity at the highest levels of our national government. There's a demonic tyrant squatting in the White House and defecating on our Constitution. everything we're doing, all the good things we're doing, will little matter if we don't find a way to preserve a functioning democracy. The rule of law is not just a good idea, it's essential. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are not just good ideas. They're necessary, they're just, they're also essential. And we can't be cowed into foregoing our principles on all these fronts. On the train this morning on the way in, I looked out at Walden Pond in Concord. And my wife and I, last month, did a pilgrimage out to the spot where Henry David Thoreau lived by himself for 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days. I've also reread his essay on civil disobedience. And we need more than ever creative forms of civil disobedience. The essay itself is amazingly anodyne for something that so inspired Gandhi and Martin Luther King, written in the 1840s. But it carries some important lessons. And unfortunately, we all have to relearn and relearn all the time. So I think we need a surge of civil disobedience. We need a surge of muscular patriotism, like we saw on Saturday in many cities, including Boston. So I have an odd request for the audience to wrap up. Join me in singing America the Beautiful, one chorus. Damien is left, so we don't have his voice, but I know some of you know the words and can carry a tune. And I'll start, but please join in. Oh, beautiful, for spacious sky, forever waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Thank you, I needed that.